Most men over 50 are battling a silent enemy, prostate inflammation. And they don't even realize it. This isn't about genetics or bad luck. It's about the subtle everyday habits that, over years, quietly lead to an enlarged prostate, frustrating urinary struggles, and relentless sleepless nights. As a prostate doctor, I've witnessed this pattern countless times. You might dismiss frequent urination as just getting older. It's not. It's your body's urgent warning. And tragically, most men don't listen until it's too late. Imagine breaking free from this cycle. Imagine avoiding chronic urinary retention and reclaiming control of your nights and your life. In this video, I will reveal the true culprits behind your prostate swelling, highlight the critical early symptoms you must never ignore, and outline the simple, actionable changes that can halt inflammation before it takes hold. This isn't just generic advice, it's the exact guidance I give my own patients. If you are serious about your health, make sure to follow this channel. We deliver new insights every week to empower you to age stronger, not weaker. The prostate is a small gland, about the size of a walnut, located just below the bladder in men. Its primary role is to produce fluid that nourishes and protects sperm. As men age, particularly after 50, this gland naturally tends to enlarge. This common condition is known as benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. While non-cancerous, its impact on your quality of life can be profound. With BPH, the growing prostate begins to press against the urethra, the narrow tube that carries urine out of your body. This pressure makes it increasingly difficult for your bladder to empty completely. Men often notice they need to urinate more frequently, especially at night. Others experience a weakened urine stream or a persistent feeling that their bladder hasn't fully emptied. These symptoms tend to worsen gradually, making early recognition absolutely crucial. It's vital to understand that BPH doesn't suddenly appear. It develops slowly, over years, often without alarming signs at first. Many men mistakenly attribute early symptoms to the natural aging process, unaware these changes could signal a burgeoning prostate issue. Left unaddressed, BPH can lead to bladder damage and even urinary retention. Understanding the nature of this condition empowers you to act decisively before complications arise. Prostate health after 50 demands your attention and proactive care. Doctors specializing in men's health consistently emphasize routine checkups and a keen awareness of symptoms. The goal isn't merely to manage discomfort, but to prevent the condition from progressing. By understanding what BPH is and how it begins, you can take control of your urinary health. This knowledge is the fundamental stepping stone for making smarter, healthier choices moving forward. Don't ignore the whispers, early warning signs of an enlarged prostate. Early symptoms of an enlarged prostate often go unnoticed or are simply dismissed as minor inconveniences. One of the first indicators is a weakened urine stream, where the flow feels slow, hesitant, or interrupted. You might also feel an increased urgency to urinate, even moments after you've just finished. It's incredibly common to experience a persistent sensation that your bladder never truly empties. These subtle changes may seem harmless, but they can be critical signals of BPH onset. Another incredibly common sign is nocturia, the disruptive need to get up multiple times during the night to urinate. This shatters your sleep quality and, over time, leads to chronic fatigue and a diminished quality of life. Post-void dribbling, where urine continues to leak after you've finished urinating, is another frequently brushed-off symptom. These signs are not simply part of aging. They are your body actively trying to warn you. Ignoring these early indicators allows the condition to progress silently. What begins as a mild inconvenience can escalate into something that severely interferes with your daily activities. Many men only seek help when symptoms become unbearable, when urination is painful or almost impossible. But by then, the bladder may already be under severe stress or even damaged. Understanding and acting on these early prostate symptoms is the key to preserving your long-term urinary and bladder health. Prostate care specialists urge men to pay attention to even the mildest changes. The earlier BPH is identified, the more effective and less invasive the treatments. Awareness is your first line of defense in protecting your prostate and avoiding debilitating complications. The hidden habits. What's silently harming your prostate? One silent yet incredibly harmful habit many men develop is regularly holding in urine. Whether due to demanding schedules, discomfort with public restrooms, or simply not prioritizing the urge, Delaying urination places immense stress on your bladder and prostate. Over time, this habit forces your bladder muscles to work far harder than they should. What seems like a harmless delay can actually trigger a cascade of issues. When urine is held for too long, it dramatically increases internal bladder pressure. This pressure not only causes discomfort but can also directly irritate the prostate, especially if it's already enlarged. The result? Inflammation that can significantly worsen your prostate symptoms. The longer urine sits in the bladder, the more concentrated it becomes, which also contributes to the risk of urinary tract infections. Men with BPH are particularly vulnerable to the effects of delayed urination. Their narrowed urethra already makes emptying the bladder more difficult. Add frequent urine retention to the mix, and the bladder begins to weaken and lose elasticity. Eventually, it struggles to empty fully even when given the chance. This sets the stage for chronic retention. Prostate doctors strongly advise against this habit, especially for men over 50. Listening to your body and urinating when the urge arises is a simple yet profoundly powerful preventive act. It maintains consistent urinary flow and drastically reduces irritation to both your bladder and prostate. Prioritizing this habit supports long-term bladder health and helps you avoid painful complications later in life. The bladder's response: why compensation comes at a cost. When the prostate enlarges and narrows the urethra, your bladder is forced to compensate by working harder to push urine out. This increased, sustained effort over time leads to a thickening of the bladder wall, specifically the detrusor muscle, the primary muscle responsible for urination. This condition is known as detrusor hypertrophy. It's your body's way of adapting to resistance, but this adaptation comes at a significant cost. As the detrusor muscle grows stronger, it also becomes less flexible. This critical loss of elasticity makes it harder for the bladder to store urine comfortably. You may begin to experience more frequent urges to urinate, even when your bladder isn't actually full. In some severe cases, the muscle becomes so overworked that it starts to contract involuntarily, leading to sudden urgency or even incontinence. Over time, this thickened muscle may also lose its ability to fully empty the bladder. The result is a destructive cycle of incomplete voiding and increased urinary retention. This not only worsens BPH symptoms but can also permanently damage the bladder's overall function. It's a classic example of how the body's initial compensation mechanisms, while seemingly helpful, can lead to devastating long-term complications. Understanding how your bladder reacts to prostate enlargement is critical for taking timely action. Prostate specialists actively encourage early intervention to prevent the bladder from reaching this hypertrophic state. With proper treatment and healthy habits, it is absolutely possible to maintain bladder strength and flexibility. Protecting your bladder is just as important as treating the prostate itself. The root cause: unmasking the role of inflammation. Inflammation plays a pivotal role in the progression of benign prostatic hyperplasia. As the prostate becomes irritated, whether from pressure, infection, or retained urine, your immune system responds by dispatching inflammatory cells to the area. This creates swelling and discomfort. But more importantly, it activates a damaging biochemical chain reaction. These signals can actually prompt the prostate to grow even further. Cytokines and growth factors are released during this process. These substances, while intended to aid healing, can also stimulate the production of new prostate cells. This is particularly problematic in aging men whose hormonal environment is already primed for prostate enlargement. Inflammation becomes more than just a symptom. It becomes a primary driver of the disease itself. Chronic inflammation also negatively affects the surrounding tissues, including the bladder neck and urethra. This can further restrict urine flow and significantly heighten urinary urgency. This inflammation can be subtle, without causing fever or intense pain, yet it silently contributes to prostate overgrowth. This explains why many men with BPH also experience ongoing discomfort or a persistent sense of pelvic pressure. To effectively manage BPH, doctors often focus on reducing this underlying inflammation. Lifestyle changes, targeted supplements, and sometimes medications are strategically used to interrupt the inflammatory cycle. By calming the immune response, it is possible to slow prostate growth and significantly relieve urinary symptoms. Treating inflammation is not just about temporary relief, it's a long-term strategy for sustained prostate health. Everyday habits that fuel prostate problems. Certain everyday habits, often overlooked, can quietly worsen prostate enlargement. High caffeine intake is one such culprit. Caffeine irritates the bladder and dramatically increases urine production, leading to more frequent urination and urgency. For men with BPH, this added pressure can intensify symptoms and contribute to inflammation. Cutting back on coffee, tea, and sodas can bring noticeable, immediate relief. A sedentary lifestyle also poses significant risks. A lack of movement reduces vital blood flow to the pelvic area, contributing to fluid retention and inflammation. Over time, this sluggish circulation can negatively affect both bladder and prostate function. Gentle, consistent physical activity like walking or stretching helps maintain healthy prostate circulation. Staying active actively supports urinary health and overall well-being. Your diet plays a monumental role as well. Foods high in saturated fats, sugars, and processed ingredients can powerfully trigger systemic inflammation throughout your body. This not only worsens BPH but also severely impacts heart health and metabolic balance. In stark contrast, a diet rich in vibrant vegetables, healthy fats, and potent antioxidants helps calm your immune system and protect your prostate. What you eat truly shapes how your body responds. Hydration, or specifically the lack of it, is another hidden factor. Many men mistakenly reduce their water intake to avoid frequent urination, but this only makes urine more concentrated and irritating to the urinary tract. Proper hydration keeps your urinary system flushed and actively prevents infections. Building healthier habits, from your diet to your daily movement, is absolutely essential in breaking the vicious cycle of prostate inflammation. The ultimate risk: chronic urinary retention. Chronic urinary retention is one of the most serious and dangerous complications of untreated BPH. It occurs when the bladder can no longer empty itself properly, often due to persistent obstruction from the enlarged prostate. Men may experience a constant, distressing urge to urinate, yet only release small, dribbling amounts, or in severe cases, none at all. This is not merely uncomfortable, it is a medical emergency. Over time, retained urine stretches the bladder far beyond its normal capacity. This weakens the bladder muscles and dramatically increases the risk of severe infection. In some cases, the immense pressure from the full bladder can cause urine to back up into the kidneys, leading to irreversible damage. Chronic retention can result in permanent bladder dysfunction if not addressed promptly and aggressively. Men often don't realize the severity until symptoms become extreme. The gradual buildup of retention allows the body to adapt to increasing pressure until it simply can't anymore. A sudden inability to urinate, intense lower abdominal pain, or noticeable swelling may be the first alarming signs. At this critical stage, catheterization is often immediately required, and long-term management becomes significantly more complex and challenging. Prostate health experts unequivocally stress early detection and regular monitoring to actively avoid this dire outcome. Effective treatments can prevent retention if implemented early, before irreversible bladder damage occurs. Recognizing the profound risks of chronic retention underscores the paramount importance of proactive prostate care. Prevention in this case is far, far better than the invasive treatments required after the damage is done. Taking control: simple habits for lasting prostate health. Managing prostate health effectively begins with consistent and intentional habits. One of the simplest and most powerful strategies is to urinate regularly, actively choosing not to hold in urine until it becomes an urgent, painful necessity. This prevents unnecessary pressure on your bladder and significantly reduces irritation of the prostate. Making dedicated time for bathroom breaks, even when inconvenient, fundamentally supports long-term urinary balance. Pelvic floor exercises, commonly known as Kegels, strengthen the crucial muscles that control urination. These exercises can dramatically improve bladder control and help reduce frustrating post-void dribbling. They are incredibly easy to perform at home and are strongly recommended by urologists for men dealing with early signs of BPH. Just a few minutes a day can yield meaningful, life-changing improvements. Your diet also plays a pivotal preventive role. Eating foods rich in powerful antioxidants, essential omega-3s, and natural anti-inflammatory compounds, think luscious tomatoes, vibrant leafy greens, and fatty fish, robustly supports both prostate and bladder health. Conversely, consciously reducing processed foods, added sugars, and excessive red meat intake actively lowers inflammation throughout your body. Hydration is equally critical. Drinking enough water throughout the day helps flush your system, keeping your urinary tract healthy and actively preventing infections. Finally, Regular checkups with a prostate specialist are absolutely essential, especially after age 50. These vital visits allow for early detection of changes and prompt, timely intervention. Whether through intelligent lifestyle changes, targeted supplements, or appropriate medications, managing BPH is infinitely more effective when done early. Prevention isn't just a goal, it's a daily commitment to lasting prostate health. Want to go deeper and stay ahead of future prostate problems? Join our channel's exclusive members-only group. You'll gain access to exclusive insights, early content, and direct answers to your most pressing health questions, all meticulously designed for men over 50, who genuinely take their wellness seriously. Here's the unvarnished truth: you don't have to wait for symptoms to take control of your prostate health. Start today. Small, consistent daily actions can prevent enormous medical problems tomorrow. The gravest mistake is thinking, "It won't happen to me," until it inevitably does. So, let's turn knowledge into powerful action. If you found this video helpful, please leave a comment below, share it with someone who desperately needs to see it, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications. Your health deserves it.